this is Furry7, and this is how to defeat the curse-run Greatwood in the Undead Settlement in Dark Souls 3. This, of course, assumes that you're using the Sorcerer, and you're going to use sorceries. I also highly recommend that you pick up the Cleric's Sacred Chime. It will greatly help you save Estus Flasks. If you want to see some of my other videos on the other bosses, I recommend that you click that icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen to see some of my other boss videos. Now, before you fight the boss, there's actually a really cool thing you can do with the boss room. You can actually go to the second level of the boss room and talk to an NPC named Hodrick. You won't be able to do this if you fight the boss first, because when the floor collapses, it will kill the NPC inside. Starting from the first bonfire, go down into that little building, come out through the bottom, and then when you go out, you'll have to turn right to get onto the bridge. You won't aggro any of the guys on the left, so you don't have to worry. Those guys won't attack you, so you don't have to fight any of them. Simply go on the bridge. If there's an enemy, there might be an enemy close to the bridge. You're going to want to kill him, otherwise he might follow you on there. And then keep going down the bridge. And once you get to the end of the bridge, you're going to take a right. You'll have to destroy some barrels and stuff. And once you get up here, there's going to be a lot of those small slaves. You're going to have to kill them. It's best to kill them one at a time if you're having trouble. Kill them one at a time and then run back, lure them over to the front part of the bridge. But anyway, once they're dead, you have to go up this ladder and then go on the other side of the ladder. If you look over the edge, you will see a guy with a cage on its back. And if you're sneaky, you're going to have to wait till he turns his back and then go up behind him and go up to him until you see an interact prompt to interact with the cage. You're going to have to not make very much noise, otherwise he'll turn around and see you, and he'll start attacking. But if you can do it, there'll be a cutscene, and he'll actually take you to the second level of the boss room, where there'll be an NPC standing there. Exhaust all of the NPC's dialogue, and he'll give you various items and a homeward bone. The homeward bone will let you escape. And, you know, there's another item that you can grab down here as well. Keep in mind that you will not be able to talk to him if you've already killed the boss. Because the second level of the boss room will collapse and it will kill this NPC. But this is a fun thing you can do if you want to do a fun little thing with the boss. Now, before you start on the boss fight, I would recommend that you open these double doors on the opposite side of the boss room. The doors only open from this side, and so it can make things a lot easier going forward. There may be also some summon signs in this area, but I'm going to show you how to kill the boss solo, by yourself, in case you don't have an online connection or whatever. And this boss is different from other bosses because you cannot attack this boss whenever you want. You have to wait for an opportunity to attack the little bubbles outside of its body. And yes, I will call them bubbles for the rest of the video. Now, at the start of the boss fight, it's just these hollow enemies standing around here. Now, you don't actually have to kill them. It is possible to just start the boss fight, and the boss can kill these enemies for you. But I recommend that you kill them now, because it will make the beginning part of the fight much easier. You don't have to worry about enemies sneaking up behind you when you're not looking. Keep in mind that you cannot kill off these hollow enemies permanently. They will continue to spawn in until the second stage of the boss fight commences. So, even though you kill these guys now, you will have to worry about them later. As soon as all the enemies are dead, I recommend using the Cleric's Sacred Chime for healing, and then the boss fight starts. Now, you cannot lock on to the bubbles. You can only lock on to the boss's main body. So, if you want to hit the bubbles with spells, one of the things you can do is lock onto the boss, and then position yourself so that your lock on is directly over one of the bubbles on his belly, and that will allow you to be able to cast a spell and you can still hit the bubbles. You don't need to hit the bubbles too many times. They will pop eventually. I recommend using the heavy soul arrow. It makes it go by a little bit faster. Once that happens, the boss will smash through the floor and the second part of the boss fight commences. During this part of the boss fight, you will not have to worry about other enemies spawning in. It's just you and the boss. Once that happens, there's a couple more things you should do. A couple more easy places to get bubbles. The first one is on its back. You can actually hit these bubbles with spells using the same method you used to hit the ones on its belly earlier. Lock onto the boss, and then align your lock-on thing with the bubbles on the back of the boss's back, and then you can shoot. The best time to shoot those bubbles on its back is when it does that ground pound move, where it makes the yellow things come out of the ground. That's the best time to shoot a heavy soul arrow at it. You'll have plenty of time to cast. Stay out of that yellow liquid because it will damage you. It doesn't do too much damage, but you really don't want to take very much damage at all. Once those bubbles are down, there are a couple more bubbles that are easy for you to get. One is on its left hand. On the boss's left hand, there's a bubble that's very low to the ground and out of the way, and you should be able to get that one fairly easily. The other bubbles on its body are going to be a little bit more difficult. So try to get that thing as much as you can. It might be difficult to get the correct angle at which to hit it. But once that's down, feel free to cast more of your Cleric Sacred Chime if you need it. And then you're going to have to lure the boss. Now, there are multiple ways of which you can go about doing this. I would suggest one of the easiest ways that I've found is to go far enough away from the boss so that you're out of range of its attacks. And you're supposed to try to lure the boss into standing up. It will do a move where you stand up. It will stand up and it'll try to smash on you. But it won't do it if you're too far away. If you're too far away from the boss, it will do this instead, where it throws these little grapes at you. If it does that, that means you're too far away from the boss. You need to be far enough away from the boss that you're outside of its melee range, but you don't want to be so far away that it starts throwing things at you. It's a little difficult, it can be a little difficult, tricky to get the distance right. But once you do, it will perform the move where it stands up, and your job then is to move around to the side, and you can attack the bubbles on its elbow or on its leg. Keep in mind that you can also, at this point in the fight, you don't have to attack the bubbles at all. You can damage the boss directly on the gray hand, the gray arm that sticks out the middle of its body. That entire arm and the hand that sticks out its body is vulnerable to attacks. So if you can figure out a way to attack the gray arm that's sticking out the middle, it will do direct damage to the boss. At this point, I would suggest baiting the stand-up move. I don't know what that move is called, but it's the one where it stands up like this, and you then run around to the side of its body, try to find a bubble or some other opening, and then attack it. And just repeat that process until the boss is dead. It could be a little difficult. to get an opening. Now, there are bubbles in the middle of its body that you can attack, but those bubbles are extremely tricky to get from melee range. The boss will do, if you're standing directly in front of it, there's a move where the boss will try to grab you, and if it does grab you, it will do a lot of damage. It might not kill you in one hit, but the subsequent attacks it does can kill you. So that is very risky to stand directly in front of the boss and attack it. You need to be an expert at rolling out of the way of its grab attack. I have died multiple times from that attack. So you can actually damage the arm directly after it lands, and you'll have quite a bit of time. Remember, if you feel like you need the extra health, make sure you use that Cleric's Sacred Chime. Even if your health is already full, it could be nice to have a little bit of extra protection, so that if you do take damage, you will start healing immediately. And it's also a great way to save on your Estus Flasks. Go far enough away from the boss that you can bait the stand-up move. I forgot what that official... There is an official name for that attack, but I forgot what it was. Do that, and then either attack the bubbles or attack the hand in the middle of its body. And that's how you kill the boss. As reward for killing the boss, you'll get a soul and you will get a transposing kiln. You'll have to take that transposing kiln to Firelink Shrine, and there's a guy sitting on one of the thrones, and you give that to him, and he can actually make boss weapons for you. Make sure you click that icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Thank you very much for watching. I have a whole bunch of other Dark Souls 3 videos, guides, and tutorials. So if you want to watch more, if this wasn't enough for you, make sure you go back and watch my other videos. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.